I guess the second part of it is, how do we know that we're doing it? What's the clue?
One thing that clues me to let me know that I'm overthinking is when I am consistently speeding or I'm doing a lot but not really getting a lot done. That's one
Mm.
way that I kind of measure out whether I'm in an overthinking state.
Say, we as humans have a very strong tendency to defer to the tribal rules. And when we defer to the tribal rules, I think one of the things we end up doing is overthinking because, well, we're deferring to the tribal rules, right?
And I'll have to admit, I'm a rule breaker. I have
No
been a rule
way.
breaker all of my life, but I wasn't implementing that characteristic about me into my life. But I know when I started, I was really struggling with my spiritual beliefs at one point. And so I had to really implement that tool of breaking rules. And in my book, I actually call it living in my okay. And I talk about how I had to tell myself, it's okay not to believe what you once believed. Like it's okay to change what you believe because of growth. And so I really had to step back and ask myself, why do you believe this faith that you're a part of? And I couldn't answer the question. So I began to just remove everything. I was like, okay, God, you got to help me here. If I didn't have this Bible, if no one ever told me, how would I know that you're real? And it actually directed me to science. And the more that I studied history, the more that I studied about the universe, the closer that I became to God. And, just really starting my spiritual journey and not going with just what I was told, not going with the rules of family, not going with the rules of religion, but breaking off and having an understanding for myself.
I'm curious to look a little bit more at your book because of the title. Now, the unattached part, that makes sense because your first book was attached, and you actually include that in the story so people can see how you transition from attached to unattached. But what's the final season about?
Okay, so I talk about my romantic, like I said, I'm finally authentic me in the area of romantic love. So my final season is actually talking about me dating again and knowing exactly what I want. So I just found out a year ago exactly how I want to date, who I want to date, and that I want to date. So this is a whole new season for me. And that was the end of that season of trying to figure out love. And also have a soundtrack to my book. And one of the songs in it is Love Fight. And I finally got to that position where I want to fight for love, not fight for an individual, not fight for myself, but just fight for the concept of love. I always say that music is my first love and love is my first language. I just love love. I love the whole concept of every form of love. Love is just like really big for me.
Hey, Hassandra here, and thank you for viewing the clips of my interview on LOA Today. To view the full interview, click the link below and don't forget to subscribe. As always, love you.